You're watching Drake Wing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, and over here from Drake Wing Gaming, some of you on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you on Let's Play episode of Far Beyond the World. Anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right back in, shall we? Alarm chain, you were up, and let's go! Nice, nice. A big fella with an even bigger sword, and those claws. You can do some serious damage. Ranok, this is Jarl Yorik and his son Finn, I explained, gesturing towards each party respectively. My lords, this is Ranok, son of Varric, and Alpha of Tiernan. An Alpha? Can't say I've ever met one. Nice to make your acquaintance. Good meeting. The wolf extends his paw and they shake on it. Ha! Had a grip on that one. I bet it could rip you open like a water skin. Did you battle yet, boy? I've heard wolves bleed their pups early. Yes. Ranok grimaces, and so do I. It's not a subject either of us is happy to revisit. Not keen on it, I see. Don't worry, it goes away with time. Eventually, you just go numb. You battle? My whole life is one major battle, lad. The Jarl laughs. Between squirting this one into his mother's loins, him popping out of them in this month, there wasn't much time away from fighting. Who you fight? The damned dragonkin. If your kind wasn't glued to your sacred trees, you would have been of great aid at the battlefront. You fight in the blasted lands? The wolf tilts his head, and I can see by his ear staying to attention that the topic piqued his curiosity. That would be a stretch. The bulky male sighs, shaking his head. We've been pushed back from Aeronor over a decade ago. The damned war with the Wolven Horde pulled all the tigery forces from the continent. With them gone, we barely hold on to what we have. Ashen Spire. It's true? I blink, not really sure what they're talking about. You've heard of that. To be fair, I'm not surprised. The entire continent was abuzz. First dragon sight in centuries. You was there? I must admit I was lucky to be nowhere near that cursed place. The Jarl laughs again, this time his voice holding much reserved amusement. It is a massacre. 200 Tigeri and Panthori knights roasted alive. Only one survived. Apparently the maniac blinded a dragon with its own scale. Wait, dragons are real? I find myself blurting out, and the party gives me a rather condescending look. Of course they are! The Jarl pats my back and I nearly stumble a few paces. The dragonflights might have gone into hiding, but they're still very much real. Sometimes you can see a lone drake scour the barren wastes of Aeronor. They mostly engage stragglers, very rarely join in real battle out of fear. Ashen Spire was the exception. Why is that? We don't know. The man shrugs. When only one survivor, it was hard to find out. The dragonkin and the dragon overlords considered it too important to allow it to fall into mortal hands. After the fiasco, the vermin poured out of Dragonar like locusts, pushing us back all the way to the coast. But now the Wolven War concluded, the Sorcerer King's attention can return to the real threat. Hopefully we can gain a foothold in the region once more. He smiles with confidence, and once again I realize that there's yet another layer of what's currently at stake. But Ranok's nature as a warrior drifts his attention to something much more personal. Did you kill Dragonkin? Ha! If only one. There's a few hundred dead in my lifetime. The Jarl laughs with deep pride. How they be? They bleed like everyone else, but it's very hard to actually wound them. Scales, you see, act like armor on their own. I had real armor on top of that, and it's almost as if you're trying to kill a rock. They're mighty strong, too. A proper foe if I've ever fought one. The man pumps up his chest, pulling on his belt, and I could swear I saw a twinkle of admiration in Ranok's eyes. He's also quite surprised, too, but I never thought humans are capable of any heroic prowess. I must admit, I'm quite stunned and amazed as well. The Jarl's a dish all his own. Fight to take back home is noble. Honor to you, human chief. Ancient history, lad. The Jarl shakes his head. My home are the Broken Isles. Those who get hung up on the past miss out on the present, and if you don't live the present, just like the dead, you have no future. Agree much. Ranok nods eagerly, and the man pats my wolf on his back. Glad to hear it. He clinks his glass against Ranok's, and they both partake in a short toast. If you do not fight and reclaim your ancestral homeland, why do you risk your lives there? I pose an idle question, which catches the Jarl by surprise. We fight for Avalon. If not contained, the dragonkin would scour the entire continent. They're bent on eradicating all mortal life. We fight for our very survival. I don't understand. I furrow my brow in confusion. Was there to understand it? Simply a continuation of our extermination in the War of the Dragon's Fall. Frey might have brought our kind some time, and with it new allies, while the first Sorcerer King might have killed the aspect of magic and turned the tide in our favor. But the accursed dragonflights and their minions are still after eradicating all mortal life. Simply in hiding, somewhere out there, plotting our demise and their revenge. And you believe that? I asked, dumbfounded by the conversation. Believe it. I know it. I saw it with my own eyes. But why would the dragons want to destroy us? What do you mean? Surely you know the story of our people. The fall of mankind. The breaking of the pantheons. Frey's last stand. The Jarl lists with growing impatience, and I really don't know how to respond. I might have read a bit on that matter, but I can't even recall exactly what I was reading. Not that I even understood much of it at the time. He suffered amnesia, Father. Finn intercedes in my defense with a slightly annoyed tone, and I smiled to him in gratitude. Oh, well, that would explain it, I suppose. But we're at a party. I don't think history lessons are the best use of our time here. I'm sorry, you're absolutely right, my lord. I'm usually one to advocate practical learning, but considering your build being skin and bones, I'll refer you to a library instead. You seem ill-suited for real-life adventures. Indeed. I smile awkwardly. Well, this has been fun, but I'm afraid I need to return to our host. Finn? He looks to his boy, but the blonde simply shakes his head. I'll join you in a second. Finn waits a moment for his father to leave before he faces us with an apologetic smile. So, you've met the war hero. That's pretty much what I've endured over the past 2 months. He doesn't seem that bad. A bit full of himself, but then again, from what he said, I can understand that. Comes with the territory. I suppose. He grimaces weakly, looking back to Ranok with a similar star-struck gaze I was eyeing at his father. It was nice to meet you, your Alpha-iness? I laugh at the awkwardness of the proposed address and my wolf cringes. Just Ranok. Ranok! I'm sorry, I'm still getting accustomed to mannerisms and pleasantries. I might not be a warrior, but at the very least I could not sabotage my father's diplomacy. I'll drink to that. I bopped my glass towards the youth. Anyway, I better rush off. My father keeps talking to people while nodding towards me, and I'd rather know what he's telling everyone. He oftentimes gets carried away. It was nice meeting you, Finn, and surprisingly enough, I feel like we're kindred spirits, you and I. I'm glad you say that. I wish for us to be good friends. He smiles, giving a quick nod. Although, I must say it's a bit odd that you chose to apply exclusively in Vanar. I appreciate knowing I'm not thrust ill-prepared into this great wide open on my own. What was that all about? I felt a bit left out. Ranok blurts out, confused, once the boy departs. They were speaking Tigery to me, weren't they? Yes. He mutters with growing concern. And I was speaking something else back to them. Yes. I have no fucking clue how this language thing works. I plant my face firmly into my palms. This whole ordeal will give me a headache. Relax, we'll just need to be vigilant and keep apart when in company. But last thing we want is to spook anyone. True. I concede through a reluctant sigh. I'll go find myself a privy. I've been drinking this whole time, and I need to take a whiz. Come back soon, though. I feel like a fish out of water. I mumble pleadingly, and the wolf laughs. Ha! Told you you're a poor liar. This is clearly your element. He sneers before leaving to speak with one of the servants. I can see him being instructed into the building and sigh, focusing instead on the party in front of me. The evening is quite spectacular, with different torches and candles glimmering against the golden glass. It's such a contrast setting to that at the village. I don't want to be a snob, but it almost has this high-class varnish to it. Then again, it would be odd if it didn't, considering the company. I watch as one of the servants steps to the middle of the sunken floor and begins to demonstrate different tricks with fire, and much to the applause of the gathered. He's a flame swallower, or chucker. He's juggling various burning balls and sticks, extinguishing them in his muzzle. It's like, water time. Right, guys and gals, and we are back. Let's go ahead and jump back into it, shall we? He's a swain follower. He's a flame swallower, or chucker. He's juggling various burning balls and sticks, extinguishing them in his muzzle. At the corner of the eye, I can see the human youth engaging in another forced exchange, constantly embraced and prodded by his proud father. This must be infuriating at a certain level. At least I couldn't cope. Was Ranok paraded like that in front of the others? I sure hope not. My attention drifts to the wrist woman, who simply looks Finn over and delivers some of her disapproving quips. It's effective enough to take the wind out of the boy's sails, and as the party shifts over to the tables, he's left slightly behind, defeated. I take a sip of my wine and decide to approach. You alright? Yeah, he responds, putting on a brave face. Just got a similar scolding to yours from Lady Wrist. Must observe proper forms and whatnots. Ha! This place is chock full of lords and ladies. I know, we're drowning in nobility. There was a sale of titles in the marketplace earlier today, and the two of us were the only ones who missed out on it. I chuckle. I rather enjoy his company, but before either of us gets to say anything, his father is already calling. Finn! Coming! The boy calls back and looks to me pitifully. Sorry, duty calls. More schmoozing from me to butcher. Don't let her discourage you. She's just a bit of a stickler when it comes to protocol. Now run along. Thanks! He bows and rushes back to his father. Before I know it, I can see Ranok walking out of the oversized doors. Those tigers are insane. The wolf exhales while correcting his belt. They have an entire room dedicated to indoor pissing. There's even an artificial stream running through the middle of it. Sounds like a proper toilet to me. Oh, la-dee-da, my lord. Oh, don't you dare. Oh, don't you start. As Lady Wrist said, you don't owe me allegiance. It's the other way around, my alpha-iness. I genuflect teasingly, using Finn's failed address, and Ranok looks towards the blonde. Speaking of, what do you make of him? If you wonder if I regain any memories, I'll have to disappoint you. It's not that. He shakes his head. Although that's good to know. I just meant in general. He's fine, I guess. Well, he makes me uncomfortable. What? I blink, looking to him in confusion. He simply shrugs. He just does. He states sternly, and I shrug. You and your quirky behavior tonight. If you think Finn's a threat, I need to reconsider how accurate your woven senses are. In any case, I think I need to use the toilet myself. I let him stew, sending daggers at the poor kid while I approach the doe who's arranging flowers at a nearby table. Portia, was it? Goodness me, I'm sorry. She grasps her chest, gazing at me startled as a deer would into the headlights. Is everything alright? I ask when her pause prolongs more than necessary. Yes, of course. The doe nods hastily as if snapped from the charm. I see that she's discreetly wiping away a stray tear, and my curious glance catches her attention. It's been a while since I've heard my mother tongue, is all. You speak it beautifully. She chuckles in amusement, and I blink. Oh! It finally dawns on me. I've likely just spoken Old Sylvan to her, which means... Are you from Tiernan? Yes, I was born in Golderin, in Belmont Grove. Alright, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, and check out our Patreon, YouTube memberships if you can. It always helps. Anyway, I love you all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye!